as far as marriage and kids go, I've just raised in a generation where you just assumed that was going to happen. I assumed I was going to be married, and I assumed I was going to have children. I met my husband in New York in the late 80s, and then we moved to LA in the late 80s, early 90s. And it never seemed to me that you had to put that on hold for a career. And I found out later when we did get married and had children that it actually improves the way you focus on your career. Because when you know you have a solid relationship at home and that no matter what happens to you in show business, you have a person who's there for you. So that actually gives you stability and comfort. And then when you have children, it breaks open a chamber of your heart that can only be opened by children. Mm. And it gives you, and this sounds self-serving, but it gives you another well of emotions to dip into for your acting. Mm. And you become more vulnerable because now pieces of your heart are walking around you outside of your body. And so you're more vulnerable because you're responsible for them. And that vulnerability is great for acting, that you have more fears and you have more joy and everything is deepened. So that's a wonderful thing to bring to your work. And as far as the business end of the industry, sometimes actors so want a job that they will not fight as hard as they should in their contract for what they want because they just really want the job and they love acting. Actors do a lot of stuff for free because they just love acting. But now when you have kids, you're fighting for your kids. You're fighting for to pay for their education, putting food on the table, a roof over their heads. So it made me fiercer as far as like what I need. And it's not for me, it's for my kids. So I was better at fighting for what I wanted. So there was this, to me, it was just kind of a natural way. And when I talk to actors, especially if I talk to Christian actors, I say, don't put off your life. Don't put off relationship. First of all, it's cheaper for two people to live together. So just on a pragmatic thing. And then to have that person that you can always, lean into and have comfort and fun with. And then having children, it inspires you to work harder and do better. So to me, it was just a natural way of prioritizing life.
I relate to this so much as CEO because people ask me all the time, well, Marissa, how do you run this company and have 3 kids under the age of 11? Isn't your business suffering? Aren't your children suffering? How are you able to do both? And I say that I'm able to do both because I have both. And the level of discernment that having a family gives you is such a gift that it saves you hours in work because you have a better instinct. It's like something gets honed in your mind when you have a family and when you have children and when you have a person that you can go home to who can either balance you or you can balance ideas by or simply just be there as an anchor, like you said, to just say, hey, you know what? Maybe this deal is not that important. Just pass on and it will be fine because we're in this together.
Yeah, 100%. It also, you don't have time to dither about a choice. You just have to start making choices because you've got to be home by this certain time and get the kids, fed and do their homework or read their story and put them to bed. So you just don't have, choice isn't always the greatest thing. Sometimes it's best to be hemmed in by responsibility so that I got faster and better at everything I did.